Hello, everyone. This is Peter Dennis. What follows is a channeled audio recording of an interview that I had in preparation for my most recent book. That book is entitled A Channeling Connection: The Process, the Beings, and the Messages. It's available as a paperback, an ebook, and an audiobook from Amazon and from most English-speaking bookstores around the planet. This interview was with Asher Green's higher self. It was channeled by Asher. And to both Asher and his higher self, I'm most grateful for the time they've given me. Here now is the interview.
Okay, he's here.
Good. Well, hello, higher self. It's been a little while, and I thank you very much for doing this. Are you aware of what it is that I'm trying to do here?
Oh, well, yes.
Good. Okay. Well, I do have a bunch of questions for you, and if it's all right with you, I'll begin.
Yes.
Good, thank you. Some of these questions I've asked you before, but honestly, I can't recall all the answers, and I'd have to look in a lot of places for them. So I may be repeating myself, but would you please describe what a higher self is and what the purpose is of a higher self?
So the higher self is the area above the crown chakra, which is kind of like the conduit to spirit. And that's pretty much what it is. It's the upper being that connects to spirit. It's in between. So it's not quite up there, but it's hard to explain, but that's what it is.
Mm-hmm. Now, I've heard that the heart is also a conduit to spirit. Is there kind of a cooperation going on here, or do they have separate roles? How does that work?
Everything is interconnected, so that all the chakras are connected. They are energy centers where energy is moved through the chakras. The heart chakra, the throat chakra, all of them are moved through together as part of the energy movement, which is what makes it all work. Anytime energy is stopped or any of those areas are blocked, it is equivalent to a traffic jam on the highway, and therefore nothing moves or very little moves or moves slowly or is congested. So yes, the heart plays a role. It's just part of the system.
I see. Yes. Now, I understand that there may be, or the number of humans that would be connected with you could be quite uh, ranging in number for you versus other higher selves. But would you tell me typically how many humans would a higher self be connected with?
I cannot give you a number, but there's a lot.
Yeah. Okay.
It doesn't work. It's not something where I can give you a definitive, oh, well, there's 10,000 or 20,000. It's just, there's a lot. It's, it's not that definitive.
Can you narrow it down a little bit? When you say a lot, that's pretty open-ended, but
Exactly.
are we
Uh,
talking thousands or
Probably
10
thousands. Yeah,
thousand?
thousands would be, to give the thousands. But that's all I can give you, though. It varies and it's difficult to pin down.
Besides humans, are you connected with any other species on this planet?
Me, just humans, but The higher self is mostly a human thing,
Mhm.
but the other animals, they're all at different levels.
I've heard the term oversoul, and I've heard that applied a little more to animals or insects. But is it basically the same thing, oversoul and higher self?
Um, yeah, I'm not really sure what an oversoul is.
Okay.
I mean, it it depends what the definition, what they're trying to define it as.
Yeah.
But there's different levels of soul. There's different levels of beings. Um, and there's different levels of, so you have your lower vibrational beings, demons, that sort of thing. And then you have your animals and your plants, then your animals. Well, yeah, and then humans, and then you have your angels, archangels, and then you have your gods, and they're all encapsulated within what we what you call the universe. So that's basically how it works. And then you have the beings are all energy, um they are all energy, and they take form based on what's needed. So an animal will take form as a dog, perhaps, to learn the lessons that that soul needs to learn in order for it to grow. And then eventually it might take the form of a human, and then eventually us humans will eventually take a slightly higher form, possibly angels. Now I'm simplifying things here,
Hmm.
um, because there's a lot more than that, and there's many thousands more beings and levels that I'm talking about. So this is like totally oversimplified, but that's basically to what a human can understand.
Yes.
But
And
it's actually,
so,
there's a lot more to it than that, but that's basically how it works. And I cannot explain it any more than that because human beings don't have the ability to understand um, beyond that.
nor the language to describe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the words that you use have definitions. So the word, like when you say oversoul, well, what are you defining that as? In the Judeo-Christian religions they tend to define the word God as being the universe. I define God as a being, not the universe. There's a distinct difference between the two.
Mm.
So the God the universe would is basically like the playing field, and the beings are the entities that are playing on the field or are in the stadium, I guess you could say.
Hmm.
Um And that's basically how it works. The universe is the universe. That's just it. It is what it is. It has no male form and has no female form. But the Judeo-Christian religions tend to worship that. But you can't really worship that because it's it. It's like worshiping a building. Well, the building doesn't do anything. It contains something, and it just is. You have to worship the gods or the supreme beings. Those are the beings that can help you. Those are the beings that can guide you through your spiritual growth and your spiritual connection. Um, and those are the beings you call out to help for. Um, this planet is uh, this planet is a this planet is kind of like a school,
Hmm.
and this body that you are in is your is part of the learning process. So you as a human manifest in a body, and the body is constricting, and and this is how you learn. So you grow by learning more about how your emotions work, and emotions are energy. So energy in motion, for example, that's what emotion is.
Mm.
And the emotions are um that's where the spirituality is connected, is through the emotions. So I noticed that much of the planet is all focused on logic,
Mhm.
which is good and important, but you also have to understand the emotional component as well, and that's where the power is. So because being human means that you have emotions, and you have low vibrational emotions, higher vibrational emotions, and you can only have one emotion at a time. So you can only be happy, and if you're happy, you cannot be sad.
Mhm.
And if you're sad, you cannot be happy.
Can you be happy and grateful?
Yes, so if you're happy and grateful, then that's good. But then there'll be times when you'll be sad.
Mhm.
And when you have these emotions that come up for you, those emotions are those emotions are pretty much where the energy is universally. Think back to a time 20 years ago where you were enraged about something or angry about something. Um, Most of the time, if you think about it, most of the time you won't even remember what the reason was for the anger. You just remember that you're angry.
Yeah.
And there's a reason for that, and that's because it's all about the emotions, and it's about the way you're put together.
Mhm.
So there's a term known as aggregates.
Yes.
The aggregate, the aggregates are what makes you you. Emotions is one of those aggregates. So there's the physical body, there's the emotions, there's the physical emotions such as pain, then there's the mind, and then there's the consciousness.
Mhm.
And all those things put together create you. Um, and the soul is the being that goes into you, that is going through life to learn what it needs to learn to become enlightened.
Mhm. Yeah. There's a few specifics. Are any of the are you connected to any beings other than humans at the moment?
Um, well, my lower self is trying to connect to beings beyond the higher self, and he hasn't been able to do so.
You're referring to
Uh,
Asher?
yeah, we're working on it.
Okay,
Takes time and practice, but there's a lot of distractions right now. So, um,
that's him. That's not you. Are
yeah,
you connected to higher vibrational beings? And
it's somewhat, because he has to be connected too in order for me to get the connection to flow through properly.
but you have other
So if
humans.
one connection is like an electric circuit board, if there's one connection that is blocked or broken or open, it doesn't work properly.
Mhm.
So that's kind of like that.
Mhm.
There's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. So there's not a lot of stuff. I'm connected to a point, but it's still hazy.
Hmm. Now, would other civilizations such as Palladians, Arcturians, etc., have higher selves as well?
Yes,
Ah, yeah.
they
Does it
do.
come a point where higher selves no longer are involved with beings? I'm thinking of would an ascended master have a higher self?